Hey,
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Dreamweavers podcast. Today is just me, Ronnie, here with you, and the man himself, Dr. Steve, who I am so excited to learn all about, guys. From what I understand, we are in for a treat today. So, like I said, it's just me with you guys today. Deanna couldn't make it for this episode. You already know all the things, and here we are. So, Miss Dr. Steve, welcome so much. Welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you for
good to see
being
you, Ronnie.
here.
Good to see you. And I don't really know what you know about what I do. So have at it.
Well, you know that you were recommended through another person, another guest
Right,
who's
right.
been on the podcast. Yeah, Crystal. Crystal's
Oh,
actually the one who
I'm
recommended
not
you.
allowed to say her name, but well, that's simple. Um,
I will remember that. Thank you.
I don't know. It's like I ask her, but yeah, I didn't say.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So because you were referred by another guest, and then I went and did a little bit of research and read your bio on your website, which is quite incredible. And if
Oh,
you don't mind, that's where I would actually like you to start today, is if
oh,
you would be willing to tell people who don't or who haven't heard of you, who most certainly haven't, for the first time listeners, right? They're just now listening to you, they don't know anything about you. They haven't read what I have. And,
right.
tell them a little bit about how you got to where you are and what you do.
Well, I don't know if you want the long version or the short version, but
I got nothing but time.
alright. I um, I mean, I found myself after, some other career, let's just say, working at, Maharishi Ayurveda Medical Center, which is where some of my friends were working. Because at the time, I was very much into the transcendental meditation movement. Um, I don't know if your y viewers have heard of that, but it's I
Transcendental meditation, probably.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that meditation is very good, in the sense that you're going with the force of nature, not against anything, which is what I advocate for in the healing work that we do here, going with the whatever's coming through you. But
And
anyway,
what is here? What do you do real quick?
well, it's called Network Spinal Care. Um, used to be called network spinal analysis or network chiropractic or all those names can work. Um, although we're not allowed to, well, anyway, I don't want to go into details about that. But uh but yeah, so I was working there and it turned out my main supervisor was Tom Poole, who he was a chiropractor himself, and we, being on his staff, could get free chiropractic care, which every once in a while I chose to do just because it was fun. I don't think I noticed much from it, but then at some point he just came back from some seminar and switched over to this method that I'm doing now, network spinal. And, at first, the first session I had of using that method, I didn't say this, but I got off the table and I said, I was thinking, "You- that's all you're gonna do. Okay, he's trying some new age stuff. I'll let him work on me, you know. But maybe after that first session, I don't know how soon, I just I do feel kind of clearer. And I noticed my meditation, uh, that like prior to that, my meditation was starting to get a little bit flat. Like there's probably something going on in my spine right then and there. I kind of remember how it was feeling for me. And um so I kept wanting to go back for more this new age stuff, and So, and I did, which I did, I didn't have to pay for it, but it was a sacrifice for me because number one, I had to find a hole in my patient schedule that coincided with his patient schedule. And number two, this was a bigger sacrifice for me. I don't like to ask people for anything, like I don't like to have people doing stuff for me when I'm not giving back, um, so I felt shy about that, but I kept wanting it. So I kept, which I kept going whenever I could, which is probably only once every 2 weeks on average. I don't know.
Okay.
Um, but, at some point, I was just like he would go between 2 small rooms because that's the office setup back then. He was not working at a typical network spinal care office or even a typical chiropractic office. So he kept going back between 2 small rooms that he could adjust 2 patients at a time with. So he'd do something to me, close the door, go to the next room if there was an even if there wasn't another person probably. Um, and after a while, like when he would close the door and go somewhere else, I would just start breathing like crazy. Like, I mean, that heavy. And I was like, I was wondering, like, why am I breathing this way? I'm not making myself breathe this way. Why am I breathing this way? I never asked anybody. I didn't talk about it with anyone. But his wife worked at the front desk, and
Mm.
this is probably after s I don't know, at least 6 months being under care. There
Oh,
was some magazine you would see at these news put out at stores or something like that, not a well-known magazine. They did an article on this type of chiropractic. And they described how people were responding in the room, and this is the first time I heard about this stuff. It's like, so that's what that, that's not just me doing that stuff. Now and fast forward y- years later when I'm doing this work myself, I have realized that people start to get the respiratory wave, which is like a very fluid, graceful motion going through the spine as a person in relationship to the person's respiration. Um, when they start getting that wave, they typically do not know they're getting the wave. They don't, and the reason why is because there's proprioceptors, whatever they call mechanical receptors, they um they haven't woken up to that type of motion along the spine. And so uh they start getting away, but they don't know it at first, most often. Um and that's what was happening to me, is what I realized now looking back at it.
so what I'm hearing you say is that through your manipulating, I'm guessing, when you're working with people's spine, because from my understanding, and I just want to let me back up a little bit here.
Well,
From my understanding, you actually do a form of chiropractic.
well,
Is
that
that why you're using different words? But it's like chiropractic? Is it adjusting?
well, we don't like the word manipulation to describe our
Okay.
because even though technically it is, but the touch is so frequent, so freaking gentle. Um, I mean, a lot of times I wish I could touch you on the screen, but it's barely touching. It can be that light where it's like sometimes I
So
think
you're not actually adjusting people the same way as like a regular chiropractic would.
I want to meet them where they're at. So
Oh, okay.
I love seeing them start to move around at times, but I want the movement to be just on by virtue of what they're motivated to do on their own. And at first, it's usually just the respiratory wave. I shouldn't say just because that's good for starting out. Um,
Okay, so then how about this? Walk me through, if you will, a little quickly, just like you come in, like I would come into your office and I would come because why?
For a variety of reasons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, everything from personal relationship problems, to, yeah, sometimes it's the, what you might expect, back pain, neck pain. But I would think I kind of get the feeling that's less than 50% of the motivation. These days it's a lot about stress, anxiety, uh, trauma, you
And
know.
we're carrying that weight in our back. Oh, well, in our
Yeah,
whole body,
sometimes
but of
pretty
course it
severe.
affects the back.
Yes, yes. Well, yeah,
So do
that's
people
another.
recognize that when they come in for
Yeah,
you? Do they recognize that they're storing that trauma in the body?
sometimes
Or
yes, sometimes no.
okay. Mhm.
So you and uh, we want to get the respiratory wave going first. So for that, the touch is the lightest touch where it's just like sometimes I think of it as airbrushing, that's how light it is. Sometimes it's um out, sometimes you're responding even as I don't know if you can see my arm, my screen's not showing what's visible. Um, but it's way out here and they're already responding. We want we want to augment their perception, what they're responding to. So you know how you can sense that, hey, there's someone walking behind me, that
Mhm.
you know
Of
people have
course.
sixth sense. We want that information way out there. So we want to heighten their intuition as well as how they can respond in a most um congruent, holistic manner where they feel whole, like where they like, because you can be experiencing all kinds of crap out there, all kinds of challenges, and it's not so much what you're feeling that is so critical, it's how you are feeling about what you're feeling that is so important, you know?
Oh my
So,
gosh, yes.
yeah, some of this comes from Donnie himself. We call him Donnie, the guy who created this work. Um, so, um, where was I? Yeah. So,
Okay, so then people come in for a variety of reasons. So then okay, groovy. And so it's not just chiropractic work, it's whole system work, which I'm now
right,
understanding
right. And at times we will go deeper in the touch. But we
to
want,
do any alignment.
well, there's layers, like the layer that's like, here, I'll turn this way, where you can barely see, where you can, it's so light, it's just waking up the biological sensing.
Uh-huh, the biofield.
Yeah, the biofield. Then deeper, you know, it's gonna be like where you really feel it. Well, guess what? That really feeling it is waking up the whole emotional system. When that's
Uh-huh.
kicking in, the person's gonna start like wanting to move. And not just the respiratory wave, but also what another type of wave that's gonna overlay that respiratory wave. So, and then their their emotional field is kicking in. That's a good thing because we want healing is about bringing all the alien parts together so they function as a whole. So we also want the energy of the mental, the energy of the personal soul, the all soul coming in. And so there's layers of that out here, and there's layers of that inside the body. We want all that integrating, want everything integrated. And God bless you.
Excuse me. Yes, thank you.
Um,
I'm I'm refraining from speaking so much right now because as you're telling me this and you are talking about bringing all the parts of ourself, not just within the body here, but also outside of the body in the ethers, and as well as our higher self, which I mean, it's just, I love hearing people talk like this. So keep on going, friend.
Okay, well, we're talking. So yeah, that's there's so many
I'm all in.
there's so many tangents to talk to spring off.
Yeah.
One of them,
Yeah.
like I said, healing is about, maybe I didn't say this, but healing is about no division inside of you. So what that means more and more is that none of these parts inside of you kind of fighting each other. Like let's say um I don't like myself. That would be divisive, you know? Or let's say I do, I care about myself and everything, and I would say I like myself, but let's say I have this shame about something about myself, or let's say I just have all this criticism of myself. There needs to be compassion for all of what runs inside of you. It's not that we don't have to get rid of any of those feelings. We don't have to get rid of all the feelings, emotions that people think of as negative emotions like anger and or fear. That we don't think of those as negative emotions because you know
They
what?
serve a purpose.
They have a purpose. Yep.
Yeah.
Anger is so you can stand up to something, a violation, Fear. Well, I have a book. I should have brought my books over that. I will in a moment. Should I just pause and get up to show you my books or
If you would like to get up to get your book, yeah,
yeah.
please go right
Yeah,
ahead.
hold on. Yes.
The Gift of Fear
Yeah, and I've experienced
by
this.
Gavin de Becker. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, fear. When you're riding the wave of fear, um, it's just flowing through you. It's not eating at you. It's like you are responding to the present situation. It's not tearing at you. It's not tearing you up at all. But you are intensely responding. I know. I mean, I've been in situations where maybe you're being chased by a dog that's not barking at you or something. When a dog's not
Hmm.
barking, they're running towards
That's a little scary.
you. Yeah. So you're dovetailing out of there. But it's like a rush of adrenaline, and it's not tearing it. You just, you know, um, I ride my bike to get around, and I make it like a war game. I make sure that those cars are not about to hit me, and I can respond readily. It's like, but it doesn't tear up at me at all. So so that we were going off on a tangent. Unfair, So
That's okay. That's
yeah,
okay.
so yeah,
So we understand. So it's regulating all the emotions with the mental and getting all the pieces of ourselves back into alignment. That's actually what this work does.
right. Over time,
Right, of course.
the reason why we have to emphasize that is because um, when when every increment of change is something the person can really perceive and digest, then they're really owning those changes as opposed to just, like, um, some sudden like awakening that might be great. Like I hear these days about the what do they call it, psychedelic drugs or
Oh,
something.
yes.
Yeah. I mean, it might be great.
Well, and people can meditate into a Kundalini experience and have
Right,
a
right,
great
right.
awakening.
Yeah, right. But if it's not totally integrated where every little change is digested, really digested, then it's not going to be fully owned. Fully owned where the person is like really grounded in it.
Present and aware
And
and ready to make those shifts in the moment, because that's what I always find is
yeah,
that you think you've made all these strides and you've grown in so many ways, and we have, but
right.
it's how you handle situations in the moment
Situation after situation in the
that
moment.
tells you
Right.
where you really are.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
So,
I
um,
hear you. So of course, little bit by little bit, because
right.
we can, and that's the beauty about, you know, all of this is we're so lucky and so blessed that we are never given more than we can handle. That is always so good, I think, in my opinion.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I think that's why it
I
integrates
think,
slowly sometimes.
yeah,
Some people, they feel like I've been doing this for 6 months now. Where's my shift? Where's my Kundalini? Where's my awakening? Where's the big aha for me?
right. And
And I'm
it's,
like, well, baby, how much have you been working through?
yeah,
Can you see how you're navigating situations?
right, right, right,
That's your, what's the word? Confirmation. That's your
right,
validation and
exactly,
confirmation right there that
right.
it's working. And this is what's happening is you're able to meditate now. Look at you, 6 months ago, you couldn't be still for 2 solid minutes.
That
And
brings
look at you being able to meditate for a solid hour now.
this brings up the whole topic of we start with what I call the peaceful love zone, you know? I call it love because it's like it's you know, it's where we go to comfort ourselves, where we just
Yes.
feel safe at home
Hmm.
inside of ourselves, you know? And that like sphere of feeling safe and peaceful and inner contentment might just be as small as just like being on the table, face down, perhaps, and just, just taking a deep breath and just like, it is what it
And
is.
actually releasing with the sigh.
Yeah,
Not just
exactly.
letting the air out of your body, but letting it all go as the air expels.
Well, when there's a
Yeah,
sigh like that, that's when the emotions are kicking in, you know?
so good.
Yeah. So we want to gradually expand. There's your like I call it love zone, peaceful love zone because love is what we are. Everyone wants to be loved, right?
Of course.
Yes. So I say you cannot stop the love on some level, like it's it's everybody has that peaceful love zone inside themselves, even if it's just small as, comforting themselves about, like let's just say oh, I've had it so hard and I've had such a difficult life and if only my parents, if only my mom didn't talk to me like that or didn't beat me up or my dad didn't beat me up or what, it's like, and yeah, we could say that that person is stuck in their story, but really that's still a comfort zone that they're going to comfort themselves, you know? Um, and so what we want is that peaceful love zone to gradually and gradually expand. And that's what I think we're here for, really, to
That's a
expand.
beautiful way to say that.
Yeah. And gradually and expand. And so you can feel peaceful, like and feeling inner contentment when you're in meditation or something, but then your baseline might a better take of your baseline is how are we responding to situations that are very stressful. or even very dangerous, you know? How are you responding to those situations? That is a I don't want to say that's the only take of where you're at, but
No,
it's
but it's a beautiful quantifier.
yeah, it's a beautiful quantifier, you know.
Yeah,
And
it's a
that's I think
great way to measure.
yes, sometimes I will have people say to me, it's like, I'm not responding to these really difficult situations like I used to respond, Here I am, I'm getting fired from my job or, um, and I'm taking it in stride, so to speak. I'm not sure where the money's going to come from,
No,
but
but you're able to roll with it a little bit easier.
you're able to roll with it. You're able to have faith, um, so
So, okay, so you said over time. Um,
right.
right. So typically, and we'll get to where you're going in just a minute because I have a feeling you're
Sure.
going to want to
No,
change
no, your
this
question
part. But typically, how long would a person spend with you
well,
as an average in the median,
yeah, yeah,
as if there is one, but you know.
that up is that's a good question because when I started out in this work, uh, it was end of 1996, like almost 30 years ago, almost. Um,
Wow.
and Donnie, the guy who came up with this, we call him, Donnie Epstein. We call him Donnie. Um, he was like
His
continually,
name just happens to be Epstein.
yeah, Epstein, yeah, yeah,
Poor
yeah.
guy right now, but anyway, here we are. So we're going to
I,
stick with
I,
Dan,
I was
Donnie rather.
realizing that myself not too long ago.
Yeah, we'll just stick with Donnie right now.
That's all right, man.
It happens. It happens. What you
Hey,
gonna do?
man, I've thought, a lot of these names that become famous, and then the poor person who,
I know. It's one of those things. It happens. Yeah, it really does.
yeah.
It's just nice to make that distinction.
Right. Oh, man. But anyway, he was kind of like starting to get the scientists to look at this work and making changes to the work accordingly. So
Hmm.
when I came in, that was a big time for that. And anyway, uh, he was always saying, 3 times a week. This was how many? 3 times a week for people starting out for, I forget, first 2 or 3 or 4 months, then twice a week for that, um, for 6 months, something. Uh, I mean, and I was looking at this like, but that's really a lot, But I was trying to do everything he said, like
Hmm.
trying to, which
Well, and you don't know anything yet. You're just learning.
well, yeah, I mean, of course, at that stage, I
You're
mean,
starting to implement it. You're starting to get your feet under you. You're
well,
learning all the things, I'm
actually,
sure.
it's not just me as a new student, it was the rest of us
Yeah.
were like, because he was changing the work so much, even the ones who had been into this for some time. There
Well,
was,
probably because he was growing and learning at the same time.
yeah, I have gotten to know, like Donnie does make a lot of rules. And anyway, long story short, well, going back to my story, it was like, hey, wait a minute, like I only started out at once every 2 weeks, and then when I went off to chiropractic college, it wasn't even that often because there was, believe it or not, it was hard to receive that work in chiropractic college, at least where I was. And until my last year,
What
uh,
was hard to receive?
the network spinal care.
Okay.
That's another tangent to run off on. But fast forward today, and I'm really letting people do their own thing more. I tell them what the ideal is, but I find more and more that people, I even if they're coming in, well, and I have a whole page about this on my website, but I find that even though I may recommend twice a week, if they're the majority, if they're coming in just once a week, on average, that works really well. If they're coming in less often, that can still keep them happy, in their progress. Um, we like them starting out the more frequent care because it does the more momentum they have going into the work, the more they're gonna notice the changes, and that builds momentum in itself. Um, so, but if they're doing once a month or whatever, as long as they're starting to learn about their own ability to heal,
Mhm.
and I check in with that every time they're in the office. So, oh yeah, so your question was really how often, I mean, how long is this process?
Mhm.
Well, the spine happens to be our evolutionary vehicle. It is, I mean, it's in every tradition out there, including the medical tradition. Like the medical tradition says how it's the central nervous system is right going through the spinal canal and includes the brain, really. Uh,
Mhm.
and it's the center of everything, even our musculoskeletal movements.
Mhm.
But it is the evolutionary, that is where the evolution is physically grounded. Um, and so how far can you go in this work? I tell people there's no end. I mean, how far do you want to evolve? This will always help you because we're meeting you where you're at. I look at how you're responding on the table. I'm, I'm responding to you accordingly, you know? So, um, so yeah, so I don't, it's how far people want to go. I let people do their own thing because I've gotten to feel that, is that no, if I turn this off, no, that's okay. Thought that was my speaker making, anyway, I, I, um, I find that it's much better to meet people where they're at, not just in terms of their healing, but in terms of their values and their belief
Mm.
system, which is based on their values, as well as how they've been brought up. And
Yeah.
you can never, if you try to change someone's beliefs, that's like you might as well be hitting your head against the wall. So I especially learned this during COVID, you know. Um,
I don't think I can't remember the last time I've tried to change somebody's belief. I think I did that when a long time ago, but
yeah, well,
I I
a
learned
long,
s- yeah,
a long, long time ago, I used to think that if I didn't express my beliefs, then I was giving approval to their beliefs, even if I disagreed with it. And I said, wait a minute, that's not true. It's like,
exactly.
so I
Exactly.
find it's much better just to stand back and, if they ask me, I'll tell them,
And meet people where they're at.
right, 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 right.
That's one of
So,
my mottos. I meet everyone where
yeah,
they're at. Take you
right.
as
And
you are.
I find that it's your beliefs that can really shape your healing. You know,
Yes,
and
immensely. Yes, I
that's
agree.
so
And
we do teach people how to work on themselves with their own touch.
and
Their-
you said that's where you're going now, is you're actually that's your forwardness and where you want to take this, is you're
Well,
all about teaching people how to heal themselves now.
well, Donnie himself has made big inroads with that a long time ago with what he calls somato-respiratory integration, which is just bringing your touch, your respiration, and movement all in sync. So I'll turn sideways again. So, well, here, I'll turn this way. Like here, I don't know how much you can. I wish I could see my picture. You're blocking up my picture on this Zoom. But anyway, so this is like I'm doing you're not doing too bad with mimicking me. Um which is nice to see actually, because maybe I can teach this through Zoom. So as opposed to this would be a mechanical movement. Wait, I'll try to make a like this would be not what I want to see. Something that's disjointed is not integrated. So like that would be not integrated with my breath. Here it's more focused where I'm moving. The intention is just at the segment that I'm touching. So it's not the whole neck moving. It's more like I don't know if you can see that, but there the movement is smaller. When the movement is more focused at just one segment, it's going to be smaller but more intense.
So explain a little bit more. What am I looking for when I put my fingers back here on my neck like this?
It's not what you're looking for, it's what you're feeling.
Okay.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to feel, or what
Okay.
should
Well,
I
let
be
me just
looking to
inform
feel?
you, and this might make a difference. I don't know, but there's 7 segments in the neck alone.
Okay.
Okay. So if you're feeling like just that top segment of your neck, like you feel you're stretching it, um, right now I can't see your fingers for some reason touching. Okay, yeah. If you're feeling, um, it's what you're feeling. If you're feeling that segment is that you're making the intention of stretching it, intention is where it's at because that's what you're experiencing is your intention. Just like if I lift my arm, it's the intention that starts the process. If I stretch that top vertebra, which we call the atlas or C1, you don't have to know what it's called. You feel it's the intention that initiates the stretch. And you start and at first you just become aware of the intention, and
So the
then
goal is to try and stretch out these vertebrae through
I
the
wouldn't say
breath?
it like that. The goal is for you to feel that segment, and you're not going to feel it until you stretch it. And the
Okay.
stretch is what you intend to,
And
is
how do I stretch it?
how
Yes.
the intention tells you how. Your touch is touching it. So if you intend to stretch it, you will you will send the neurons there that stretch the muscles around that segment, the segmental muscles specifically. Um,
Okay. So you just focus on it and breathe
I
into
can't
it,
s-
and
I
it relaxes. And is that what you're talking about, the stretch?
well, I now I c- your fingers were not too visible to me when you went back to there. And not what the other side is better because your headphones is in the way. All right, I'll tell you what, try a lower segment. Yeah. And good, good. You're doing my hand position. You know what? Just take a breath there while you feel your touch.
Yeah, and I can feel it
Good.
like
Yeah.
relaxing in, and you can feel it.
Well, try breathing in as you stretch it and then slightly out the mouth.
And the stretch, I guess maybe I'm confusing the stretch. What am I supposed to be feeling for the stretch?
No
I
supposed.
feel I
You,
feel it relax.
yeah. Well, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. There, just get off of the supposed to. This is a
Okay.
good session because it'll help my clients. It's like,
Okay.
yeah. Um, get out. There's no supposes. No feelings are bad. No perceptions are bad. It's all in what your experience is. And I want you to trust yourself. So if you can just, yeah, just meditate for a moment in there.
Oh, you can
We
see
can
the tree.
pause the video. No, this is fine. Just meditate. Yep. Good.
We meditate on here a lot. That's a
Good.
big part of our
Good,
our
good, good.
jam.
Yeah, good, good, good. I like what I see. And as you grow that intentional stretch, you might even start to notice the breathing opening up a little bit more.
Oh, that's what you're talking about with the stretch.
Yeah, then when you said, "Oh," is looking, yeah, there, okay. Well, the arm doesn't have to move with it, but
That's what I feel. I can feel that
yeah, yeah,
that that's okay.
yeah.
Guys,
Uh,
if you do this on your own, trust me when I tell you, just breathe into it for a minute. Just feel what he's talking about, like I am, and just close your eyes and breathe into it for a minute. Give it some time. You will find that. At first, I just felt like it was relaxing. And then if you stick with it for a little bit longer, you can feel the stretch that he's talking about, which is kind of it's really interesting to describe. It's just you feel your muscles actually starting to breathe with you. And
good. Yes.
by them breathing with you, you almost feel them just come into themselves. They're like, "Oh,
Good.
okay, hello, we're here." Okay,
Good.
and you're recognizing us.
Yes.
That's how I would describe it, Doc.
Yes. I hope my talking at the same time you're talking is not making it difficult for the listeners out there. No.
I don't think so.
Okay. Yes, that confirms. Um, yes, yes, yes. And
Oh, good.
people have different variations of how they feel
Yeah.
like that. For some people, it'll just be um a sense of energy, you know? With energy can mean a lot of different things. Sometimes it can be a
Mhm.
sense of tingling or just a visual or just the intention. For me, energy is just intention, you know? Uh, for some people, it'll be their movement that they feel initially, and then maybe the energy or respiration will come along. It's it's there's variations on how you were describe it, but your description is really it confirms to me that what I was seeing on the screen here was good, because
Oh, good.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Good. Yeah,
very
that well
good.
that's really cool and a very new thing to me that I'm gonna now, just literally play with.
Yeah, yeah, I
Because as
invite
I say that, as I'm like, okay, well,
you can
anyway.
call me anytime if you have questions about it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, because I want to be able to teach this more and more to the world, which would mean teaching this totally online. Um, but well, there's a lot of bridges to cross there. Um,
Yeah.
uh,
But
but
it's part of exactly what you were saying earlier, which is your
right,
goal to help people learn to heal themselves.
right, and I always tell people
Which to hear another practitioner say, like, what you're talking about, Willis, is the first thing that most people will think that comes to mind. Like, why would you actually want to teach people how to heal themselves?
yeah, my name is not Willis, but Dr.
It's a figure of speech. I'm sure you know
Okay,
that show.
all right.
You know that show?
No, I don't. I'm
Okay, never mind then.
probably dating myself.
I'm dating myself by using that show as a reference, but that's okay.
Okay. Um, but yeah, And I always add, you know what, this is the best way to put yourself to sleep. So,
Oh,
so I always do it when I go to bed. It's the best way to wake up in the morning, best way to wake up before meditation, after meditation, best. It's always great to do. And for how long? Only as long as you darn well feel like it. I'm trying to stay away from four-letter words. I don't know who's in our audience, you know. So only as long as you darn well feel like it.
okay. You're
It,
free to use whatever language on here you prefer.
it's yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Um, but because you want this to be a growing love affair between yourself and yourself.
of course. Of course.
If you start making this a tedious exercise, it's going to be boring, and boring is stressful on the body.
And
And
nobody's going to do it.
no, and why would you? You know, it's like,
We don't do boring things.
yeah,
Well, we do, but
well,
as a
yeah,
rule.
yeah, we want to actually make our peace with even boring stuff too, you know. So, yeah, so
Hmm.
well,
So so would you be willing to share some of the story or as much of the story as you would like to share that is actually on your website?
on my website, yeah,
Hmm.
a whole lot.
Sure. Absolutely.
So that. Yep. So I was already, as I was saying, noticing changes in my meditation. Um, I had some intermittent back pain, neck pain. At some point that went away, but I think, looking back, I was making some profound changes, and I don't honestly remember when I noticed what I noticed, but I was already, uh, had a side practice. Uh, in shiatsu, craniosacral, and what was the other thing? I think it was just craniosacral and shiatsu. And um, was looking for something that what's next in my career or something, and at some point, oh yeah, that's right. At some point, I was driving through the clinic, and just as my car was getting close to the clinic, the thought came to me that I was like, I could do what my chiropractor is doing, and it's like, um, and it was like a light beam that just hit me from above. I mean, when I was just so enthused about the idea, um, I started acting on it basically. Um,
Okay.
I looked into like, okay, how do I get, the student loans and all that, and so yeah, I was off to chiropractic college. I went to the same chiropractic college in Dallas that my chiropractor was sending his son to. Uh, He had just almost at the same time, just one semester earlier than myself, and so yeah, one thing led to another, and I went knowing that I was gonna focus on network spinal care because that's what I wanted to
And
do.
this was in Dallas, Texas?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
Parker College, Dallas, Texas. And I just was doing all the seminars taught by Donnie that I could, starting in 1995, doing his seminars. I had to get special permission for that because I was still in school, but so I wrote him a letter. But anyway, when I got out of chiropractic college, I made it a point to do like 3 to 5 of his educational programs. Some of them were healing programs, but they were all some mixed of healing and education. Um, I went 3 or 5 times a year for like 20 years. I was just sucking it up. And at some point, I just realized that, hey, all the insights about advancing this work, at least in my practice, are coming from me. And I should back up. I started going to the first network chiropractor in the world, according to Donnie, Cliff Inkless in New York City. I was going up there every month, and he had a whole different take on the work, um, in terms of it all being about rapport. you know, and I really took off on that. So yeah, here I am. I think I don't know if I left any much out in that story. I'll have to
That's
go to my
okay. I guess, if you were to describe your work in a nutshell, like give me the elevator pitch, how would you tell people what you do? And even if it needs to be a long elevator pitch, how do you
yeah.
describe your work?
Uh,
I think I understand, but I'm not sure that a lot of other people do either. So, I
right.
mean, like, I'm not sure that other people, even though I understand because I'm inside your world and
Yeah.
I get all the things being a spiritual practitioner. So I feel like you are more of a spiritual practitioner than I think you're a very spiritual practitioner, is what I'm trying to say. And you're getting there through the mainstream ways. So that's why I'm
Yeah, yeah,
asking,
that's
how do
right. I do.
you?
Yeah, because not every like, yeah, I mean, some people are coming to see me just for nuts and bolts kind of, they don't want the spiritual crap. But I think everybody's spiritual, and so I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, the elevator pitch. I'm I'm adjusting people's spines and nervous system just by meeting them where they're at according to their most natural tendencies. And so it's very gentle in that matter because we're meeting those natural tendencies as they come up. And we're touching them in a way that augments the feedback loop from what's going on in the body to what they feel, what's going on in the body,
Mm,
and emotions and feelings. I never do that elevator pitch the same way twice. But
yeah. Well,
and
so
I
do it
be
again and tell me again. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I
I
really
was
am. I'm
going to
totally
give
kidding.
you the finger, but I'll back up.
I got lots of fingers too. You can give me another. I don't
No, no,
mind.
no. Before the internet, when I started my practice, before the internet really started going, it was so frustrating for me when people asked me, "So what do you do?" It's like, they were asked there, and I was like, but now I just point to the video page on my website.
Hmm.
Yeah, that tells them in a nutshell.
Speaking of, what is the name of your website, please?
Oh, yes, it's easyspine.com. That's two
Easy.
words put together. Easy, opposite of difficult, EASY, and then spine, the thing in your back, SPINE. No punctuation, just easy spine, EASYSPINE.com. And
That's amazing.
yeah,
And what city and state are you located in now?
I'm in Bethesda, Maryland, which is really just a suburb of Washington, D.C. So I see people actually from all the mid-Atlantic states, actually, because for some reason I'm the only certified network practitioner in a wide area um, who is much into this work as I am anyway. Um,
Very good.
yeah, so I see people sometimes from West Virginia. Pennsylvania has some network practitioners up there, some good ones. Maryland, DC, I'm um, so at least at this point in time, we used to have a couple network practitioners in our area, but one of them lost her husband, and so she moved away, and the other one passed away. So
Mm,
yeah, but anyway, here we are.
okay. And your goal is to just be out there helping people or showing people a different way to help them heal.
I want to advance this work. I feel like it shouldn't be just something, it should be more available to more people. We don't have enough network practitioners to go around. I don't think we ever will, because the training is um, so, uh, it takes a lot of training if you want to really get good at it. I mean, a lot of training, a lot of practice, honestly, if you really want to get good at it. Um,
I'm sure
yeah.
that
So,
that makes sense.
yeah.
Very good.
Hmm.
So, what would you like to leave the listeners with?
I
That's it.
yeah, well, what would be the best thing to leave them with? Um, just just there are nothing running inside of you that you have to push aside. Just observing it as it is good enough. Because once you observe it and feel it as it is without trying to change it, it's on its way to changing. And we see that every day in this system of care. As soon as you just feel it as it is, it's like energy that was all bundled up and stuck energy is now free energy for you to experience as it is.
I think that is most beautifully said. Well done.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well done. Dr. Steve, I want to thank you so much for being here. It has been such a true pleasure to speak with you. I am grateful to know somebody else who's doing the same. It's all the same work, just the how you get there
Dif-
is different. I don't care how
Different
you get downtown, just meet me downtown, right?
different
And that's
doorways, different to
exactly.
yeah. And we need all
Exactly.
the handles, not all the handles. You can never have all the handles, but yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah, and
so
thank you
good.
for
Thank
doing what you're
you.
doing. I'm really grateful for this opportunity to speak to a wider audience. And
Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah, I am. I'm excited and I look forward to what you do in the next near future. I don't think it's going to take you very much longer
you
before
know,
you've kind of figured out your little
well,
some little
just this
I
past
see
month,
some changes coming.
just this past month, I'm starting to do the social networking thing, which I hadn't been all these years. I'm very slow to warm up to technology. And I saw
Okay.
social networking is not a good, it's too distracting. It's taking away people from being just really connected. But you know what? It's like I have to, old grandpa here has to get with the
You
real
know what? It's just like anything else. It's a balance. Do you have a drink now and then?
water.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
some people have one glass of wine now and then,
uh,
some people partake in a little too much. Some people don't do any at all.
yeah,
I mean, find the balance that works for you.
you're right, right, right. Yeah.
Because I used to be the same way. I started off when social media became a thing. I was all in for a few years. I was all in
But
and then I backed up and I was like, I didn't like it and I got a little too far away from social media and
I
now
would
I'm
like
back in.
I would like to have dialogues online on these social networks about this healing work, because then I can
Then
discover,
join my world.
okay,
We can talk about that more in just a moment.
cool, okay, because I'd like to meet people where they're at, but I've got to find out, what are their questions and,
Did you hear that, listeners? How do they find you on Facebook? How do they find you on Instagram? What social media platforms are you
the
on?
handle, the handle which I just created, excuse me, is Easy Spine Hub. That's the name of my website, EASYSPINE, then Hub,
Hub.
HUB, no punctuation.
Where is that? On Facebook or
I
Instagram?
I just on Facebook, I'm just starting to work a business page that I had out there that I wasn't doing anything with. Um, and then I just started Instagram. Uh,
Okay.
I got on Instagram about a year ago because someone one of my colleagues on Instagram has done a great job of making it easier for people to find each other, us network practitioners. Um, and so she put out her own directory on Instagram. So I put myself on that directory. So I had to get on Instagram then, but now I'm really starting to do something with the Instagram page.
Well,
On
let's do that. And they can find you under Easy Spine Hub on Instagram. Is that correct?
Instagram, Facebook, Rumble. Was it LinkedIn?
Okay.
I haven't started LinkedIn yet. I'm gonna maybe
We'll
do,
go ahead and link those in the
yeah.
description down below.
Yeah, I'm not, yeah, I just got onto Rumble actually. Yeah, so we'll see what happens because
I got you,
I'm
friend.
pretty slow with this technology. I was like I
I
had
get it.
someone in my practice who's helping me with it. I really need more help with it, so,
I understand. Well, there you
yeah.
go. So then, listeners, like he said, the same way that we're always looking for spiritual conversations to have with you, Dr. Steve is as well. So please feel free to get in touch with him, especially if you're in his area or if you're just looking to know more information. He's out there doing the same good work that most of us are out here doing, which is just helping you learn how to heal yourself. And guys, Deanna always does the goodbyes. So I remember this one. Stay blessed and stay blissed. Please leave a comment. Don't forget to like or subscribe if you like what you see here. And all of this information about Dr. Steve, of course, as always, will be listed right there in the description. Dr. Steve, thank you again so much for being here, friend.
Hey, hey,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much.
I
And I
No,
look
no, no,
forward.
no, thank you. It's just
Well, it's mutual. I
right, right,
appreciate.
that's just
You're welcome. It's
I'm trying to
mutual.
do the acting, whoever that is.
I get it. I get it. I get it. But
Yeah.
seriously, guys, thank you so much. Dr. Steve, I really appreciate you. And everyone, have a great rest of your day. Thank you.